All right, Anthony Hartwig here with another fall sports season preview. Into South Range we go. The head coach of the volleyball team joining us today, TJ Irons. Coach, thanks for hopping on and joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. As always, you guys do some great things for the kids in our area, and we really appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, coach. And one of the things about this volleyball team, we're going to have all the excitement for South Range. We'll talk about this year, but first, kind of want to recap last year, the things that you were able to do, and some of the things that you want the returning players to take from last year as lessons learned.
Right. We had a lot of seniors last year at some key positions that had a lot of varsity experience. Some of them had played since they were freshmen, so tons of experience, and they helped the younger kids. So we hope that the kids this year do that. We played a lot of good volleyball last year. You know what our schedule's like, and against some of those tough teams, the Lakeviews and the Girards and the East Liverpools, and some of those teams, we had some really good matches with them. We could just not put it all together. So we'd win a set here, win two sets there. So I think if we learn anything from last year, we just got to be more consistent throughout the whole match.
Yeah, you guys came so close to upsetting Middle Ridge in the tournament.
Yeah,
I mean, it was one
another
of the
good.
best matches that I think we saw in the sectional slash district round.
It was
But
exciting.
did a game like that against a team that was quote unquote favored, do you think that gave this team going into this season a little bit of not just motivation, but confidence? Like, hey, we can play with these teams. We can win more than just a set. We can win, two sets. We can push these teams to the brink. And now that we know we can do it, we can finish.
Yeah, that's the best. Experience is the best teacher. And we have those girls that were playing last year, and they were a part of that. And there was, the one set in that match that was just unbelievable, that we had so much fun with, and we couldn't finish it at the end. And that's I think why I think our goal this year has got to be to play consistent the whole match, and to finish. When you can finish a team, we need to make sure we finish.
All right, let's meet the team this year. I know there's some new faces and some players that are coming into bigger roles. Why don't you go down the roster and some familiar faces as well, and shout out the team that we're going to be seeing this year.
Absolutely. We have 5 returning letter winners, starting with our 2 seniors, Ella Krumbacher, who's playing some right side opposite, and playing in the middle for us right now too a little bit. She's just doing a great job. She's a hard worker. She gets after it. And so does Hayden Carey, who's a setter in the right side for us. Both those girls being our seniors this year. It's been a fun preseason so far. And then our other returning letter winners are Taylor Dado as a junior is going to be a middle for us, and she's been explosive so far. Allie Irons is a libero / DS for us. She's been working all off season, as I would know. I've seen it up close and personal. And then we have Anna Toy, who was, somebody who not many people knew about last year at the beginning of the year, but by the end of the year, everybody knew about. And she was, just dominant for us. And we're looking forward to that again. And then adding with those returning letter winners, we have junior Maya Markulin, who's a setter right now for us, and just really a hard worker, does everything we ask, is improving every day. We have Addison Freedy, who is on the outside for us and swinging really well, and her passing is improving every day. So she's working really hard. And we have Haley John, who's, I kind of call her, like my Swiss Army knife. I tell her, we've had her as a DS, and we've had her on the outside, and right now she's working at playing on the right side a little bit, and her block's getting better and her swing's getting better over there. So she's just one of those girls that can do a lot of different things. So that's good for us. And then another sophomore, Parker Zwingler, who's also in the rotation there at the setter, and she's just like a little spark plug for our team, and she's always she's got the team laughing, and she's a lot of fun. So those are the girls. That's the varsity squad right now.
When we're talking about this team, and I think Anna Toy is going to be the one player that gets the most eyes right now, just because of what she was able to do last year. You said it throughout the year. Not a lot of people knew about her. There were some teams that you played the first time didn't really have a scouting report on what she could do. How do you think it's going to go this year now that everyone does know and everyone in the league's going to kind of be ready to go and try to scout her as much as possible, and having to handle the kind of that aspect of being defended a lot harder this year?
Yeah, I mean, she's not going to sneak up on anybody, that's for sure. But she's got the right attitude. She's She loves volleyball, and there's a lot of people that play volleyball because they kind of like it or their friends play it, but Anna plays volleyball because she loves it. So whatever it takes for her to be successful, she's going to do. And she was one of many girls that wanted to stay after practice today, get some extra reps in. So that was pretty neat to see. Another thing that's I think is helping her is she played outside for us last year, but in her club season she got to play a lot of middle, and so she's kind of gotten to see that side of the game too. And I think that's been something that's been positive for her. But Anna's gonna be a great part of a huge part of what we do this year. So I'm looking forward to it.
I also want to talk about the serving in this team, because last year that was one of your big strengths. You had a lot of aces racked up. You had a lot of really good high pressure servers, and a lot of those servers are graduated. So what do you see from the service line this year? Do you think you can be just as aggressive as you were last year?
I'd like to think that we're going to just reload. It's tough to replace people that broke records, like Sarah Coons last year and Maddie Mook, who were, just great servers. But we've got some this year that are just as tough. We have in practice. It's nice to have those girls because you also have to serve receive against it, and they do make our serve receive look bad sometimes. So, but we have a lot of girls that have kind of taken it personally to say, I can do this too. So I think we're just going to reload in the serving department.
Let's talk about this schedule. First, we'll start with the NE8s. We know Lakeview. We know what they bring to the table. They're bringing everybody back.
Yeah.
Gerard's always really good. Phil Walters, coaching legend. But then you have teams that are just taking strides. Struthers, Hubbard, you guys, Niles, all that fun stuff in the NE8. Poland, Aaliyah Diamond in her third year now down there. What do you see out of the league? What do you expect out of it? And what are you trying to get out of it as well?
Yeah, I think just with Lakeview not losing anybody and how well they played last year, we all know that we're chasing them. They're kind of at the top of our league, and until somebody beats them, they're still the top dog. Coach Guthrie does such a great job. They have a system that they run. They're very good. They play very well together. But like I said, I think we played them tough at times. We just need to play a little bit tougher against them. Also, Phil over at Gerard, we'll talk about reloading. He just always reloads, and he always puts the right people in the right places, and they're going to be good. So those two are they've been at the top of the league for a while. I'd like to think that we have a chance to break into that upper part of the league if we decide that we were, like we talked about, being more consistent finishing. Hubbard, we always battle with Hubbard. It seems like every year we split with them. It seems like we beat them one place, they beat us the other, and they're usually really good matches. So I would expect that again this year. Poland, we did see them at Cedar Point a little bit, and Coach Diamond, they're getting better every single year. So, that's another team that we need to look out for. And I can tell you some of our best battles in the league last year were Struthers and Niles. We had a couple matches. We had a good match with both of those teams. So there's really not a night where you can relax in our league. You have to go ready to play, no matter if you're playing the top team or what's considered the bottom team in the league at that time.
All right, then your non-conference, never shying away from competition at South Range. Talk about your non-conference schedule this year and some of the teams that you got on it and teams you're excited to test yourself with.
Right. So West Branch is who we open up with, West Branch and Southeast. And we saw them also in the trip we took to Cedar Point, and just super athletic. And they have their coach there is doing a really good job with them. I can't remember his name, but I know he's a new coach there. He's really he's got those girls playing well. We play Boardman, who also has a very good, sophomore player, and we had a good battle with them last year. We have both Ursuline and Mooney on our schedule. We head up north for a couple matches with we play Edgewood and we play Grand Valley. We finish up end of the year. We have matches with Harding, and I think senior night this year is Liberty. So there's some quality games in our non-league schedule to go right along with our tough league schedule.
Seems like a trend opening the season with West Branch and Southeast in a tri-match. It's
Yes.
becoming a thing.
Yes.
What's it like opening up the season with such a quality test like that, to be able to really just throw the team out into open water and say, hey, here you go. This is what you're going to see. I mean, West Branch is almost as good as it gets in the area.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, you want to know right away. And you also know that, it's a great – either way, it's going to be a learning experience. If we can go get a great win against a really good team, it's kind of a feather in our cap for the rest of the season. If we go and we just battle them and we don't maybe win the match or play as well as we want, being the first match of the year, you can always say, look, these are the things that we need to make sure we get fixed, and it's not necessarily going to hurt you in the league. So I think it's good to open up with them and Southeast both.
Now, normally we wouldn't be asking about tournament time so early, but because of all the realignment and the expansion in every sport, not named football, into 7 divisions for you guys in volleyball, what does that do for South Range? Do you think it opens some doors for tournament time? What were your thoughts when you saw where you guys landed as far as division wise?
It's exciting. It's just, I think the big thing is it's going to be different. We're going to play some different teams probably in our area really close here. It doesn't change it a ton, just, other than the number of teams because of the different divisions. But I think we have 7 in our district, 7 Division 5 teams. But, Columbiana's still in there. Crestview's still in there. So the teams that we've kind of had to go through in the past, a lot of those teams are still there. And you think about like the Mentor Lake Catholics, eventually seeing some of them. But I'm just curious, I think we all are as coaches, just how they're going to divide that up and how they're going to run this tournament. But I always think it's a change. I think it was needed, and I think it could be a positive thing for us.
Yeah, I was going to ask the next one when it was a conversation happening about volleyball and other sports being expanded. What were your thoughts? What were some things that you thought needed to happen? And do you think that now we're expanding into 7? Do you think that's ultimately good for the sport?
I do. I think it's a chance to recognize more teams. More teams have that opportunity, to go and play a little bit farther and maybe get to that state championship. And then, the other thing is it's a great opportunity to be able to recognize more kids and, more kids that maybe were really good players in their division, but really had a hard time competing with some of those kids at the very top. Maybe some of them will have more opportunities to get, that recognition of being a first team or a second team or something like that.
All right, we can't let this interview go without letting you talk about your coaching staff throughout the program and the people that are helping you make South Range volleyball what it is, from junior high all the way up into your varsity assistants. So talk about, your staff and the people that you have behind you.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky with the people we have. We have Sarah Fischel with our middle school group, and she's been there a few years. She's a teacher at the high school, and she just has a great she has a great feel for these middle school kids and what to teach them. And she's always right on board with anything that we ask her to do. I think we work very well together. And her new assistant this year is Eliza Summers, who you'll recognize as Eliza Garlow, was a good player for South Range. So those two, and Eliza's been a great addition. She's come right in. She came in camp in June, first time I ever met her, and she was right on the court teaching from the second she got there. And just she's such a positive person. So those two, I'm so excited to have them in our middle school program. In our high school program, I have Coach K, as most people around here know her, but she's Kaylee Lucklin. She's been around coaching in our district for a while now. She's very well known by the kids, by the staff. She's just one of those people that's a very hardworking person, loves to do whatever it is that she can do to help the kids. She's just an outstanding assistant. And I think outstanding assistants are great when they know the sport, which she does, but she's also just willing to do whatever needs to be done, behind the scenes, even, whether it's a fundraiser or whether it's, just helping. Like today, she stayed after and worked with some of those kids. And so I'm lucky to have her that way. And then also, I'm not a huge social media person, but she's like our social media director, and she's always putting out some fun stuff. The girls have a blast doing things. I do have Instagram, so I've seen some of that. I don't have TikTok, so I couldn't even tell you what's on TikTok from our team. But I think at pictures today, they tried to get me on one, so that was a little embarrassing.
They definitely dragged you into them.
Yeah, they do get into those sometimes. But she's great. So between our middle school staff and Coach K, and I also just today had my daughters in the gym with us, and the fact that they both played at South Range, they both still love to play volleyball. They love to just help out. So I also every once in a while kind of get that free help from Emily and Reagan.
Coach, we know you opened the season with that tri-match. When's your first home game? When can the Raiders first come to see you inside that Thriller Dome?
I think we open up that Tuesday, the first week of school. I think that's the 20th. I'm pretty sure it's that day. I'm trying to remember who it is. I don't have my schedule right in front of me, to be honest. Sometimes you get so stuck on thinking about that first match in our scrimmages right now. But it's I I think it may be Poland that day, but that's the first time we're home. Is that Tuesday the 20th?
I can help you out, Coach.
Is that right?
We have a big spreadsheet with all our volleyball matchups. So let's see.
Yeah, I thought I had it here, and I don't have it.
I have you at Niles on Tuesday the 20th.
Okay.
Is that different?
No, that's not. It's not. Like I said,
Okay.
I'm so focused right now. We go to Columbiana tomorrow. You know how that goes.
Oh,
Columbiana is a good matchup, so I'm looking forward to playing them tomorrow. Then we have we're playing in a preview on Saturday against East Palestine. We have a great scrimmage, a 4-way scrimmage next week, and I guess I should know that, but taking things one day at a time. I guess
you gotta live it too.
I guess I'm taking that to heart myself.
I got you, Coach. Okay, so we'll just bring up good old Max Preps and get your schedule. Your first home game, 22nd. So that Thursday, you're bringing in Hubbard.
That's the one. That's gonna be a good one. It always is.
Be a good one. Inside the Thriller Dome, August 22nd in Hubbard. Thank you so much, Coach, for coming on, talking to us about the season. We appreciate it, and we'll see you real soon.
Thanks for having me.